We are welcoming back the Bachelorette on ABC Monday night, May 28th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 Central on ABC. And this man, thrilled to have here in studio, has built quite a career for himself. The host of The Bachelor, Miss America, and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, all rolled into one. Good to see you, Chris Harrison.
All packed into 1 year.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you've hosted The Bachelorette, and then you're following in the footsteps of Burt Parks.
I'm actually second to Burt Parks now.
Are you really?
Yeah, and I don't know if we're going to be doing it this year, but I've done it since pretty much off and on since 2004, Miss America, and so I think I rank second of the longest running hosts for Miss America.
And then, of course, Mr. TV Regis Philbin, following in footsteps of the
Getting to do Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is great. I'm in my third year of that, did the daytime syndication and check local listings, and it's a blast. It is. I mean, look, we're hosts, students of the game. And so when you get to walk into a Yankee Stadium type place like Millionaire in that, arena, it's not lost on me who was there before me. And I love it. I love doing it.
Well, one of the things that, if you don't mind me saying, works you do so well is you're genuine, which you need to have for something like what you're doing with The Bachelorette. Right. I mean, in The Bachelor, because there's so much emotion going on. Now, I understand that we're still just talking in the real world about the toy department, right? But I mean, what happened with Becca was something that I use the phrase national kerfuffle, which you, as your horse racing days, point out to be a very good
horse name.
Right. That was based on what was going on with her last year. Now, who do you hear from personally when things like this go down?
Yeah, I mean, in Ari's particular instance, it was a few weeks after, I actually ran into him. I run into him from time to time. We're doing press or doing whatever. And I say, how you doing? And instead of the glowing, oh my gosh, Beck and I are great. We just can't get enough of each other. We're on our happy couple dates. There was the, every now and then he'd throw in, Beck is great, but I can't stop thinking about Lauren. I said, well, it was a bad breakup. I know it was tough on you, and, that'll subside, and, keep moving on, and you'll be good. Because I really thought he and Becca were doing good. And then it got to be more and more. And then a producer called and said, this is happening. But so to put this in real world perspective, this is my issue. I had 1 week set aside in my life that I blacked out this year. And that was to play in the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Do not call me. Do not mess with me. I don't ask for much.
Okay.
I'm off the radar. I get a call the day before I'm leaving. We need you next week. No, I'm teeing it up with Jason Day at the AT&T. Like, I don't care whose love life is on the line. That's not happening. They're like, and then they told me what happened. They were like, okay, so this is what's going down. Ari's having his date with Becca this weekend, and he's breaking off with her. And before all that happens, we need him to talk to you and discuss this. And I said, well, it's happening then tomorrow at my house, because then I'm leaving. And everyone can just deal with it.
And that's what happened.
And that's what happened. We shot at my house in my living room with Ari. And then I set him on his way. And then while I was teeing it up in Pebble, he was breaking up with Becca.
I thought you were going to say that it was on the 18th tee, that you're going to have that conversation for 10 minutes. And you'll be like, now watch me hit this shot.
Right, exactly.
And hit that and hit the ball. But it's just because, again, Chris Harrison here from The Bachelorette. So many athletes are locked in on this.
It's bizarre.
Locked in on The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. Who drop some names here.
First, everybody was kind of reluctant, and I call it the Bachelor closet, where everyone's like, when I was with them at a game or I'd see him somewhere, they'd be like, oh, I like your show. And I'm like, now it's okay. And I think it's the likes of Jimmy Kimmel, Stern. A lot of these guys are really outspoken about being huge fans.
Yeah.
Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis are always talking about it.
What about sports people?
And but then you get some bizarre ones. Dan Jansen.
Okay.
Out of the blue, we were at a charity event, and Dan Jansen comes up. I almost said Will Clark, Dwight Clark, who ruined my childhood,
right?
A Dallas guy. And I'll never forget, I was sitting at a golf tournament, and this guy next to me, we're at the bar, and he's like, you Chris Harrison? I said, yeah. How you doing? Hey, Dwight Clark. I was like, you son of a bitch. And he's like, Dallas fan? I said, yeah.
He's heard it, right?
But and I'm friends with some of the Cowboy guys. I know Tony Romo and his wife watched a lot, and Witten and a lot of those guys. You know, I hear you see them and they start talking about the show and they go deep. They're in it. I mean, they know more details than I do.
Jerry Jones?
I don't know if Jerry. I mean, I know Jerry and Gene, but I know Charlotte, his daughter, watches, and yeah, it's bizarre. Clint Eastwood.
Now hold on a second.
One of the weirdest, maybe most disappointing times in my life was I had the honor of meeting Clint Eastwood, and he just looked at me, and I thought he was going to punch me, which I thought would have been great.
That might be just his default look with everybody.
Yeah, just that. When he was standing there, and it was like Clint Eastwood, white T-shirt, holding a Budweiser. It was like a Clint Eastwood ad of what you expect, and he's looked at me and said, "I watch your show from time to time." And I didn't know how to take it. I wanted him to just grab me and say, "You are the worst part of America." Just something.
But that is one of those sort of like Seinfeld, Penske file, you are aware moments where it could go in either direction. Like, I watch your show from time to time. And just leave.
And you don't know what.
You are aware.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, so you didn't finish the sentence? That was
right,
it?
That was it. No, that's all Clint Eastwood needed to say. Nothing more, nothing less. And then I was left to just decipher what that means.
Oh, my God.
But yeah, it is bizarre. I'm caught off guard. Look, if I walk into, Chili's and there's, 20 women sitting there, I'm like, yeah, they probably watch the show.
Sure.
When you see 10 offensive linemen from the NFL, you are taken aback a little bit when they're like, dude,
yeah,
how's Becca doing? You're like, really? It's bizarre, but the show does. It crosses all borders, barriers, and because everyone can relate to it. Everybody gets it.
Well, I know Chris Harrison here on the Rich Eisen show, when Becca was given the Heisman, if you will, in the manner in which he was by Ari Lyondike Jr., that if I'm not mistaken, local politicians were threatening to ban Ari from entering the state.
Well, she's a Minnesota girl.
Right. So the Minnesota
billboards.
legislature
There
took
were
care
billboards put up in Minnesota. Someone bought billboards, and it wasn't us. They thought it was us. It was not us. Keep out of here. You're not welcome here. And then, yeah, some politician it might have been the governor. I don't even know, but it went off on Ari and said he was no longer welcome in the state of Minnesota. And people get heated and fired up about this.
Well, now she's the Bachelorette.
Yeah.
So now she has the opportunity to, is it fair to say, turn a table? Because she doesn't seem to have that sort of gene.
I think what she has the ability to do now is have perspective. And she will get full perspective of and I will tell, because we're done filming, and so I won't give anything away. But
we're in the can?
We're in the can. We're done.
Okay.
This is done. We just wrapped about a week ago. And so I will say this, while she still doesn't appreciate how Ari handled this, and I'll admit Ari was a knucklehead and didn't handle it perfectly, but I think she appreciates what he went through. She definitely sympathizes with how that can happen. And look, we all have the propensity to love more than one person at a time. We often don't have that opportunity where you're dating 25 women at once or 25 men. But The Bachelor, obviously, and Bachelorette forces that situation. And so you do. You have that ability. And oftentimes, if you do your job as the Bachelor and Bachelorette, you're left with 4 or 5 great people that you're splitting hairs at the end of what separates them. And so I think she understands now, I see what happened. And she was very cognizant of that and very careful not to go down that road of saying to more than one person, I love you.
Okay, so this is going to run all the way through the summer, correct?
Yep, all the summer. Yeah, we start this Monday, Memorial Day.
Memorial Day.
Yeah.
So that you don't have any golf outing planned for September, do you? That could be in jeopardy.
Yeah.
Once the reveal takes place, Chris.
That's true. That's when I need to clear the deck.
I'm just trying to see if you're part of any pro-am in September, Labor Day sort of pro-am situation.
If there's any day off,
be careful. You got to have your head on a swivel, man. What is your game like?
Right now, it's not bad. I'm pretty good. This is my summer. December, January, February, all this. Heading into the season is my game. And then sadly, when all the member guests, all the big tournaments are in the summer, that's when I quit playing golf because I'm about to leave and go shoot Paradise. That's done in Mexico, and then I start production on Millionaire, which is in Vegas. And then all of a sudden it's September again, and I'm back into Bachelor, and all of a sudden it's Thanksgiving.
Well, congrats.
And I
on all
reintroduce myself to my kids.
yeah. How many do you have?
2, 16 and 14.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
So you're down the road.
It's bizarre. It's really bizarre. I was just talking to my son, who's 16 years old and driving, and my daughter's on this big trip right now with her school. So it's me and my boy, and he drives, and I am not needed at all.
Okay. So I have to ask you the question, if you don't mind me asking. I'm sure you've gotten it. I get all the time when I let my kids play football, you know, and I said I have to think about it.
Right.
Would you let your kids be the Bachelor or the Bachelorette?
I thought I'd play football. It'd be easier to let them play football and get their heads knocked off.
Yeah.
Here's my answer to pretty much anything as far as that goes.
Yes.
I hope I have raised them well enough, correctly, and instilled upon them my values, and that whatever they do, they will make the right choices.
They will make the right choices in life.
Just remember, Dad's always watching.
That's right. They can phone a friend if
Always,
they want.
exactly. Dad's always watching.
Dad's always the phone a friend. Good to see you, man. We'll see you in the Big Slick, correct? In Kansas City.
Yes, my buddy Rob Riggle is one of the guys. Eric Stone Street, Jason Sudeikis. I'll put this on. You've been there, and Riggle says it's a great event. We're going to Kansas City.
It is.
Rich Eisen and I will be there. If that's not enough to draw people out,
it's correct.
But look, we get to play softball, I guess. At
the K.
Is it still called Kauffman?
It is Kauffman Stadium.
Okay, because usually when they rebuild stadiums, it's like.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's like
.com, drop in, whatever it is.
Exactly.
So yeah, we're playing softball there. We're eating barbecue and drinking beer. And
there'll be a lot of swing oil
to
use the golf
one of my
phrase.
favorite, do we have time for one of my favorite sports moments ever? Because I'm a big sports guy.
Please.
And the first time I ever got to throw out the first pitch was, oddly enough, I was doing this job in Kansas City, and they said, would you throw out the first pitch? I said, who's there? Royals and Rangers. Awesome. My Rangers.
Yeah.
This is great.
You're from the Metroplex.
And I go out to the Kauffman Stadium. I'm throwing out the first pitch. Rain delay, delayed an hour. Royals weren't great. This is like a while ago when they really sucked. So there's, 14 fans there, cut it in half because of the rain delay. I walked out, nobody's there, and all you can hear, throwing out the first pitch tonight from The Bachelor, Chris Harrison. All you hear, you suck! That's it. Because you could hear one person yell. And it was all just...
Did he get in your kitchen?
And the weird thing is my dad. That was my dad.
That was weird.
Yeah.
That was an O. Henry-like twist to the end. Sort of like last year's
Therapy's
Bachelor.
taking care of a lot.
Yeah.
But that was my great. I was so excited. I was like, this is my moment. I am on top of the world. And then just boom.
Did you throw a strike?
I brought it.
Damn straight you did. Brought the heat.
45 miles, if not 46.
Damn straight. Damn straight. What year was this? What year was this?
This is a while. This is like 10 or 15 years ago.
Okay. So then you left a rose for Kevin Brown on the mound, maybe.
Exactly. Wow.
Just trying to think so. The Bachelorette airing Monday, May 28th at 8 p.m. Eastern on ABC. We'll see you in Kansas City in a couple weeks.
I'll be there.
Please come back anytime.
Thanks, Rich.
You got it. That's Chris Harrison at Chris B. Harrison on Twitter.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.